At our age, people are in and out of de facto relationships. We want to know, how do you avoid going to court? We've got Michelle here from Websters Lawyers. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lauren. Great to be here.
Now, Michelle, tell us, what is the actual definition of a de facto relationship?
A de facto relationship is an old terminology that we tend not to use these days. It's a term that most people would be familiar with and generally describes a relationship between a man and a woman who live together on a genuine domestic basis but are not legally married. Passage of time, complexities of relationships, modern terminology is now domestic partnership, and that encompasses relationships between two adult people, irrespective of whether they're related by family or gender, living together on a genuine domestic basis.
So I'm starting a domestic partnership. What are some of the things I need to know?
The important thing to know is that from the beginning of the relationship, when you hit that 2-year mark, because from there the rights and entitlements will begin to flow. At the beginning of the relationship, it's really important to have good knowledge of what you brought into the relationship, so what you own, what you owe, what your house is worth, what your super's worth, what you're earning, all of that information. Probably a good idea to have that information from your intended partner as well, so that you're going in with a good volume of knowledge about what your financial position will be, because it's that causes the problems at the end.
So if the relationship is to break down, are they entitled to half automatically?
No. Not at all. There are many, many considerations that come into bear in terms of working out what the entitlements are, and those considerations will be the contributions that the various partners made to that relationship, which is why that initial snapshot is so important. There will then be other considerations such as the future needs, because of course the longer a relationship chugs along, the more people's positions can be changed, and sometimes to the detriment of one party. And so when we're looking at what entitlements there are at the end of the relationship, we're trying to balance out what went in, what changed, and what needs to be done to make it fair at this point in time. So
people my age, 27, 28, are they actually coming in and asking for prenups?
It's unusual at the beginning of the relationship. We tend to see it more in older people at the end of the relationship. I would recommend it for younger people, because the reality is that younger people are more asset rich now than they ever were, and they really need to be turning their minds to protecting those assets when they're entering that relationship.
So do you actually need to have your lawyer present while making your prenup, or can you kind of just take them out for dinner and slide it over the table?
You need a lawyer, absolutely. There's to make the binding financial agreement binding, there's advice that must be given, and it must be given independently to each party. The entire idea of the document is to say, look, we've worked out between us what's going to happen. We don't want the court to interfere here. We've gone off and seen solicitors, we've had the advice, we've signed the document, and we want to enforce that document.
Michelle, thank you so much. If this is you and you're in a de facto relationship and you need help, make sure you give Websters Lawyers a call or jump on their website.